Why truth, love, and freedom are how reality actually works. Why law might not mean what you think it means. When most of us hear the word law, our nervous systems tighten a little. We think rules, enforcement, punishment, authority figures consequences imposed from the outside. And honestly, that makes sense, because human laws usually work that way. But here's something most people don't realize. When you look up the word law in a dictionary, you'll find more than 20 definitions, but they almost all fall into two main categories: made-up rules that require enforcement, tax laws, speed limits, legal codes, principles or protocols upon which reality itself operates, laws of physics, laws of motion, laws of thermodynamics. This distinction matters everything when it comes to understanding God, because God is not primarily a rule maker. God is the creator, and creators don't enforce reality, they build it. God as creator, the foundation of design law. God created space-time, matter, energy, life. That means the laws of his kingdom are not arbitrary commands. They are the constants, the protocols, the design specifications of how life works. These laws cannot be changed, do not require enforcement, produce predictable outcomes, apply whether we believe in them or not. Jesus himself said, "As long as heaven and earth endure, not the smallest letter or stroke of a pen will disappear from the law." Matthew 5:18. Why? Because if God removed the laws upon which reality operates, reality itself would collapse. The fine-tuning of reality, why this isn't just theology. In Finding Truth, Nancy Pearcey describes what scientists call the fine-tuning problem. The universe exists on a knife's edge: gravity, electromagnetic force, nuclear forces, the mass of protons and electrons. If any one of these values were altered, even slightly, life would be impossible. This isn't opinion. This is observable reality. Creation itself testifies that life operates on precise design laws. When Christianity drifted from design to domination, after Constantine's conversion, Christianity slowly absorbed a dangerous idea that God's law works the same way human imperial law works. Rules, authority, punishment, control. But that framework doesn't come from Jesus, it comes from empire. And it quietly distorted how people understood sin, judgment, obedience, salvation. God's character. Revelation calls us back to creator worship. Worship him who made the heavens, the earth, the sea, and the springs of water. Revelation 14:7. Creator worship means seeing God as the designer of reality, not a cosmic enforcer. What makes a law a design law? A design law must meet specific criteria. It is a principle upon which reality operates. It is testable. It produces consistent, predictable outcomes. It does not require punishment. Damage increases with greater violation, but the law itself never changes. Gravity doesn't punish you. It simply responds. Step off a curb, twisted ankle, jump off a building, death, same law. Different degrees of violation. So what are God's design laws? Below is a clear, grounded walkthrough of the major design laws you shared, explained simply with real-life meaning. 1. The law of love. Life is built to operate on giving. Creation itself runs on outward flow. Plants take carbon dioxide and give oxygen. Bees receive pollen and give pollination. Water circulates endlessly. Love is not sentimental. It is the operating system of life. When people stop giving, marriages wither, communities fracture, families feel cold. This is why Scripture says, God is love. 1 John 4:8. Not God demands love. God is the principle upon which life works. 2. The law of liberty. Love only exists in freedom. You cannot coerce love. In relationships where freedom is violated, love deteriorates, rebellion grows, individuality erodes. Think of controlling parenting, manipulative marriages, authoritarian churches. Even if obedience exists, love dies. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. 2 Corinthians 3:17. 3. The law of worship. We become like what we admire and focus on. This is neurobiology in Scripture. Spend time watching fear-based content. Anxiety increases. Spend time in admiration of Christ. Character transforms. By beholding, we become changed. 2 Corinthians 3:18. This law explains addiction, identity formation, spiritual growth, cultural drift. 4. The law of exertion. Strength comes from use, muscles weaken when unused. Minds dull without thinking. Faith stagnates without practice. This is why Hebrews says, "The mature are those who have trained themselves." Hebrews 5:14. Growth requires engagement. 5. The laws of physics and mathematics. Reality is consistent because God is consistent. Gravity works. Math holds. Creation doesn't contradict itself. Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Hebrews 13:8-6. The laws of health bodies flourish in harmony with design, sleep, hydration, nutrition, movement, sunlight. These aren't trends. They are biological laws. Break them long enough and sickness follows, not as punishment, but as consequence. 7. The law of restoration recovery is required after expenditure. Burnout happens when this law is ignored. Athletes know this. So do exhausted moms. So do pastors who never rest. He gives rest to his beloved. Psalm 127:2. 8. The law of sowing and reaping. You cannot harvest what you didn't plant. This applies to character thinking, relationships habits. Shortcut learning produces fragile adults. Avoiding effort produces dependency. 9. The law of love overcoming fear. Love calms fear neurologically. A mother runs toward danger for her child. Fear subsides when love activates. Perfect love casts out fear. 1 John 4:18. 10. The law of fear damaging love. Fear drives selfishness. Under fear, people hoard, lie, dominate, and withdraw. This is survival mode, not kingdom living. 11. The law of forgiveness versus resentment. Bitterness always injures the one holding it. Forgiveness isn't approval. It's release. Resentment rewires the brain toward hostility and despair. 12. The law of truth. Truth cannot be avoided. Only delayed truth heals when embraced. Truth destroys when rejected. You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. John 8:32. 13. The law of revelation. We reveal what we value. Beliefs don't stay hidden. Out of the overflow of the heart, the mouth speaks. Matthew 12:34. 14. The law of happiness. Happiness is the byproduct of health. Pleasure is not happiness. Health produces joy. Violation of design undermines joy every time. 15. The law of brokenness. Once injured, there are no pain-free options. Avoidance doesn't heal wounds. Healing hurts, but restores. This law explains emotional growth, trauma recovery, and spiritual maturity. 16. The law of sin and death. Fear-driven selfishness destroys life. This is Satan's system, survival of the fittest. God's kingdom is the opposite. Self-giving, freedom-preserving, truth-centered God's goal. Restoration, not control. God's desire is clear. I will put my laws in their hearts and minds. Hebrews 8:10. Not external enforcement. Internal transformation. When we see God as he truly is, we are changed. When he appears, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. 1 John 3:2. Final invitation. Design law doesn't threaten you. It invites you back to reality, back to trust, back to love, back to freedom. God's kingdom is not fragile. Truth doesn't need force. Love doesn't need fear. And when we finally see God clearly, our hearts respond naturally. That's the beauty of design law. Have you ever heard God's law presented this way? Leave a thumbs up if you heard something new here. Subscribe for more content like this. And as always, thanks for being here.